Now that you've done a few of these questions, you should be able to do the following 10 questions by yourself. I will go through the answers one by one, so if you try the questions by yourself first, and then you can self-assess your answers. So question 1, there's two ways we can do this question. We can expand the left hand side and solve it, or alternatively, because it's 2 times what's inside the bracket is equal to 8, we can divide both sides by 2. So if I divide by 2 here, I can divide by 2 here. So what's 8 divided by 2 on the right hand side? It's 4. And on the left hand side, the times 2 here, the divider cancels out, leaving me with just x plus 4. There's no need for the brackets anymore. Now on the left hand side, I want the x by itself. So that means I have to get rid of the plus 4. How do you get rid of plus 4? You subtract 4 on this side, you subtract 4 on this side. So 4 take away 4 is 0, plus 4 and minus 4 is 0, leaving with just x. So x is 0. Now if you think about it, it makes sense. If you substitute the value of x back in, so it's 2 times 0 plus 4 equals to 8. So what's inside the value? Inside the bracket the value is 4. So 2 times 4. Okay, so 0 plus 4 is 4. So I've just written 4 here. So 2 times 4 is 8. Therefore we know we are correct. The other way to have done it would have been to have expanded the left hand side. So the question starts off with 2x plus 4 is equal to 8. Now if you expand the left hand side using the grid method, we've got the x there and plus 4 there and the 2 there. So 2 times x is 2x, and the 2 times plus 4 is plus 8. So we now have, when we expand this out, the bracket on the left hand side, we will get 2x plus 8 is equal to 8. Now because we want the x by itself, we will take away 8 from both sides. So 8 take away 8 is 0. The plus 8 and the minus 8 is equal to 0. So 2x is equal to 0. Now because we want the x on its own, we will divide both sides by 2. So x is 0 divided by 2, which is just 0. So x is 0. So it's up to you which method you prefer. But in this situation, probably this method is easier, where we divide it by 2 first on both sides. So in this question, we have to also find x. So the easiest way is, because it's 2 times something here is equal to 8, we can divide both sides by 2. So divide the left and the right hand side by 2. So on the left hand side, 8 divided by 2 is equal to 4. And on the left hand side, the times 2 and the divider cancels out, leaving with just x minus 4. I do not need the brackets. Now to find x, I need to get rid of this minus 4. So I add 4 to both sides. So if you add 4 to both sides, on the right hand side, 4 add 4 is 8. On the left hand side, the take away 4 and the add 4 is just 0. So copy the x down. So x is just equal to 8. And it's always best to go and check. So by substitution, so it was 2, instead of x, I'm write 8 here. Take away 4 is equal to 8. Now what does this inside the bracket equal to? Is 4. So instead of 2 times 8 minus 4, I could just write 2 times 4, which is 8. So indeed the answer is x is equal to 8. Question 3, we've got 5 times something is equal to 35. So one method could be that we just say divide both sides by 5. So divide the left side by 5, divide the right side by 5. So on the right hand side, 35 divided by 5 is 7. On the left hand side, the times 5 and the divide 5 cancels out, leaving me with just x plus 1. No need for the brackets. So now because I want the x by itself, I take away 1 from both sides. So take away 1 here, take away 1 here. So 7 take away 1 is 6, plus 1 take away 1 cancels out, so x is equal to 6. It's always good to check your answer by doing substitution. So instead of 5 times x plus 1, we'll do 5 times 6 plus 1 is equal to 35. So let's check if that's true. So inside the bracket I have 6 plus 1 is equal to 7, so it's 5 times 7 is equal to 35, so therefore my answer is right. Now as I explained, we could have done it by expanding brackets, so let's explore that here. So if I expand the left hand side, I have x plus 1 on the top and 5 on the left there. 5 times x is 5x, and the 5 times plus 1 is plus 5. Remember, if you can't expand brackets, there's a separate playlist for that. You need to watch that playlist. So if I expand the left hand side, I get 5x plus 5. So the left hand side is 5x plus 5. On the right hand side, we're doing something to the right hand side, so just copy the 35 down. So if I want to find the x, I have to get rid of this plus 5 first. So how do I do that? I have to subtract both sides by 5. So take away 5 here, take away 5 here. So 35 divided by 5 is 30 on the right hand side. On the left hand side, the plus 5 and the take away 5 cancels out, leaving with just 5x. Now to get the x on its own, we divide both sides by 5. So 30 divided by 5 is 6 on the right hand side, and on the left hand side the times 5 and the divide 5 cancels out, leaving with just x is equal to 6. So it doesn't matter which way you do it, you'll still get x is equal to 6. But I think in a situation where I can divide both sides by 5 like here, in this kind of situation I prefer the method on the left. Question 4. I can see it's 3 times something, so it's 3 here, times something is equal to 9. So I can divide both sides by 3. Divide the left side by 3, divide the right hand side by 3. So what's 9 divided by 3 is 3, and on the left hand side the times 3 and the divide 2 cancels out, leaving with just x plus 7. We don't need the brackets anymore. Now to get the x by itself, I have to take away 7 from the right, I have to take away 7 from the left as well, so I have to take away 7 from both sides. So on the right hand side, 3 take away 7 is minus 4 or negative 4. The plus 4 and the minus 7, plus 7 and the minus 7 cancels out, leaving with just x. So x is equal to negative 4. It's always good to check your answers. So it's 3 times, instead of x I'm going to write minus 4 plus 7 is equal to 9. Now I'm not doing anything to the right, so the 9 can just get copied down as it is. What's minus 4 at 7 is 3. And remember there's a secret times sign here, so times 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, so therefore x is indeed equal to minus 4. So I've checked that by substituting here, and that confirmed that my answer is correct. With question 5, it's 2 times something is equal to 3. So now this time we can't just divide, because this number here is not a factor of this number. So this time we just have to expand. So what I mean by that, for example, if this was 4, then 2 here would have been a factor of 4, so we could just divide it by 2. In fact, if this number was any even number, it would have 2 as a factor, so therefore I could divide the number by 2 and we could move on that way. But because we can't do that, in this question we have to to expand. So using the grid method, we've got x and minus 7, and then we've got 2 here. So 2 times this 2 times this x is 2x, and then 2 times the negative 7 here is negative 14. So the left hand expanded, we can now write 2x minus 14 is equal to 3. Now to find out what x is on its own, we have to get rid of the minus 14 here. So we have to add 14 to both sides. So 3 add 14 is equal to 7. The take away from the plus 4 cancels out, leaving with just 2x. So now to get the x on its own, I have to divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to, now I'd probably prefer to write it as 17 over 2, and then ask myself, how many times does the 2 go into 17? 2 goes into 17 8 times, and with remainder 1. So how to turn a improper fraction to a mixed number, there's a completely separate video or playlist on that. So for this question, we think x is equal to 8.5. So we have to check if we're correct. So 2 times, I should really use the fractions, but just to save time, I'm going to just use 8.5. Remember, 8.5 is the same as saying 8.5. Take away 7 is equal to 3. So we're going to do 2 times whatever this is. So 2 times, what's 8.5 take away 7 is 1.5. And as you can see, 2 times 1.5 is indeed equal to 3. So therefore we were correct when we said x is equal to 8.5.